All right, now the COVID cases are rising. Are we in for a tough winter? What does that mean for pathology labs? Why suddenly there is a spike? And how should one read into the fact that vaccine is now around the corner? To discuss all that and much more about the spike in cases, what is happening to the testing business, and how should one read into the vaccine, and how could vaccine change the COVID testing? I've got the perfect guest, someone who's been with us throughout the COVID crisis, Mr. Velumani, to walk us through what his understanding of the current second wave in North and third wave in Delhi is. Mr. Velumani, you've been very frank, you've been outspoken, and you've been calling spade a spade. What is your understanding of the spike which has happened in North India? Are we in for a tough winter? Because, sir, the vaccine is still 3-4 months away.
Yeah, we had been thinking that this virus will either become tired or weak or die. Virus is not going to die and it is going to remain around. We had kept everything locked down, and when you lock down everything, there is a control on infected. And it happened as the first wave. When you unlock, because of frustrations, people come out. I call it as misbehavior in terms of COVID norms. Results into higher infected rate, and higher infected is second wave, and if it is once again, it is third wave. Waves will continue till virus is completely, we get acclimatized to. So that is about waves, and I want one more positive thinking. The infected are going up in Delhi third wave, but not the deaths per day. Somebody might tell, no, you see, it was 90 per day, now it is 110 per day. Look, it is going to be troubling. It is not, it's going to spare. So if you ask me, vaccine coming too early is dangerous also, because without adequate studies, you can't go mass vaccination. If something goes wrong, it will be a huge calamity. That is like jumping from a frying pan to the fire. So I am a bit concerned about the deadline, the timelines given for vaccine to reach to the rural community, as well as the HSC marks, it is 94%, 95%, 95.5%, and 96%. I don't believe that numbers. Manufacturers will claim, but government has to be extremely careful before they roll it out to the common man.
Mr. Velumani, what does that mean for the testing business? Let's work with an assumption that the vaccine comes in and it is settled, the efficacy is also there. It could be 6 months and it could be 12 months, but 2021, hopefully we will get a breakthrough. Every diagnostic company has got a huge revenue line called COVID testing. Is that revenue line a permanent line now?
No, this revenue line to die off, if it dies off, it will take 5 years. Whether it will grow more or will remain so or will slowly come down is the 3 options. It's not in our hand. It is the virus and it is continued trouble. Vaccine coming is not going to reduce the testing. But I must tell you here, diagnostic companies will have a huge upside if a drug comes. Today, people are not testing because post-testing, knowing positive, what is next? So people go in for self-quarantine along with family instead of complete family getting tested. But tomorrow, imagine there is a solution which a drug is available, and because of COVID, people will not die. Trust me, for every fever, they even will go for PCR testing. So vaccination may not impact in either way the RT-PCR's need. Drug, if it comes, it will positively impact.
Mr. Velumani, while a lot of new technology is likely to emerge in terms of rapid testing, instant testing, kit testing. If one works with the assumption that the COVID testing is here to stay, but the rates will start coming down, how will that affect a testing company and their profitability?
See, profitabilities are never determined by the selling cost. They are all determined by the volumes. I've been telling for the last 8 months that price is not a challenge if volumes come. But today's laboratory challenge is price has come down, volumes are not there. So if you ask me, in the month of October and November, because of arrival of a rapid antigen test, which is not at all useful, RT-PCR has suffered. See, I am a stakeholder. If I tell truth, it should not be construed that I am looking for more business. The truth is, rapid antigen test is misleading everyone that the pandemic is under control. Without RT-PCR, you can't conclude that. But having said that, laboratories will evolve over the pricing, volumes, costing, everything, only when a steady state is there. Every day, everything changes. Fortunate for us, what we purchased at 1400 rupees as a raw material cost, today is 200 rupees. So if you ask me, laboratories do want more margin, but that is not possible without more volumes. So laboratories are looking for volumes more, not worried about cost coming down.
Sure. Dr. Velumani, there's been so much talk about now, looking at testing before traveling as well, and the fact that sometimes there needs to be a certain time period before the tests show accurate results and so forth. So, what impact will this have on diagnostic companies, on the volume of testing? And do you think that, airports and other transport hubs are equipped for this kind of testing and volumes? Should we actually go in for this as a rule?
Yeah, first and foremost, let me criticize the political decision for some kind of scientific reasons. If Maharashtra tells everybody tested only should come to Bombay, it sounds like in Bombay there is no positive case and we are worried about somebody coming from outside and infecting. We have enough positive cases in Maharashtra, in Mumbai. I'm not referring to only Mumbai. Let it be Delhi, let it be any part of the country. Now asking travelers to do RT-PCR test or any test is only harassment, though it can increase the laboratory revenue. So there is likely a spurt if government insists that RT-PCR testing is must. But the rapid testing is today completely changing the testing scenario. And if laboratory PCR test gives 10% cases positive, rapid antigen test gives only 2% positive. Remaining 8% is positive with the certificate in hand that he is negative and he is welcomed. I'm pretty concerned about unscientific way of harassing the common man, harassing the passengers, harassing the economy. And I want governments to review. Take all care, but don't insist. Traveling has to have a certificate of COVID negative.
Okay, so that's on the travel as well. How profitable do you think is going to be the price-capped COVID PCR business? We are seeing companies like Spicejet looking to enter this as well.
Yeah, let me tell about some more hard facts. Our industry also is internally discussing how to answer to. In fact, our colleagues are very concerned. If somebody can do 499 rupees RT-PCR test, how bad will public image will be on laboratories who were given rates of 4,500. वक्त की बात है. That time the reagent cost was too high, so laboratories had to insist. Today reagents costs are low, but they are not that low that test can be done at 4,999. And let me also tell you, for any player, 90% of the business is B2B, only 10% is B2C. COVID patient doesn't want to come and walk in. So all hospitals, all labs collect, and the authorized laboratories do the testing. Always it is 50% cost is collection, material, consumable, transportation. Remaining 50% is testing. So imagine if you work at a 500, there will be hardly any money for the people who are involved in collections. Today also, the RT-PCR volume has suffered because capping has been done. Middlemen who were collecting on behalf of the authorized laboratories have lost interest. So I must tell you here, this 499 rate is unrealistic in every angle. I think government should decide B2C rate. Players who do the testing only can decide B2B rate. And if there is any margin, the business will be done by the players who are involved in healthcare. If there is no margin, testing will come down.
Okay. Now let's look at what is happening to laboratories in terms of the normal and the regular business. Is everything back on track for you and for other laboratories?
No, I must tell you, all doctors are not back into their cabin like how they used to sit earlier. Doctors are also concerned that COVID is a big risk for them. And medical doctors are not given any soft corner by this COVID. So all those non-COVID tests have not come back to January position still. And I must also tell you here, the non-COVID test, there are two categories. One is voluntarily done wellness packages. Another is based upon symptoms doctors are recommending. The first category has grown well, has gone 140% than January level, 40% more than January level. But the ones which are prescribed by the doctor is only 50% of January level. So there are a lot of components playing in the balance sheet, one supporting the other. Finally, COVID giving the upside, which you see with all the three diagnostic companies obviously declared the results. So it is not that simple for me to sit in middle of November to tell what will be March month. So we all are evolving every day based upon the journey of COVID. Only when the COVID subsides, the non-COVID will come back. So if COVID goes away, we will not be worried because non-COVID will come back. So if you look at it, all questions are questions. There are hardly any answers.
Okay. Last question, Mr. Velumani.
Ji.
We understand that there are a lot of counterfeits have started. A lot of small mom and pop shops are claiming that they have tie-ups and they're doing COVID testing. I'm speaking out of personal experience where people call you, they represent a lab, and then you later on realize that there is a fault line there. Are you also experiencing that at a mass level?
Yes, I must tell you here, COVID has come in. All players having challenges, organized players are having challenges because all middlemen are playing their games. Some collect and they decide where to send by telling other laboratory is having problems in quality. Whatever story they can tell, the customer is so desperate for the report by the end of the evening. kahin se bhi laake de do baba. So he goes to someone who is unorganized laboratory and he gets it done and gives it to the patient. So this is a laboratory report, but patient is not getting the brand which he is looking for, and some unorganized players report is coming. One more worry I want you to add: there are lot of forgeries happening, and every organized players have at least lodged 50 complaints. People have nothing to do with the brand, are collecting blood, and one of their report they are forging and giving in the new name to someone. Trust me, very bad times, and thugs are on the game.
Sure. Mr. Velumani, good to have you on the show as always, and share with us your insights as well, as you always do. Good speaking with you.
Thank you.